Hello everybody, my name is Kara, and today I'm here with my April reading plans. So I started thinking a while ago that I wanted to do kind of what I did last year, and since April is my birthday month, I thought it might be kind of fun to only pick up things that I am really actively excited about, that I really want to read, that I think I'm going to love, and that are going to make me happy. So basically no books where I feel like I should read them. But with all of the stressful and scary things happening in the world right now, I just feel even more like this is necessary. So I'm also going to talk about the books I want to read for the Owl's Magical Readathon. So all of these are books that I really want to get to, and I picked them to fit those prompts. So I'm really excited about that, and let's get into it. So I'm going to do what I did for Owls last year, which is I'm going to cover all of the prompts, or try to cover all of the prompts, and when we get to the newts, I'll figure out then which career I want to do. This readathon runs through the whole month of April, and it is created by G from Book Roast. She puts so much thought and hard work into this readathon. I just am so impressed by it. I will link all of the information down below. And the first prompt for Ancient Runes is Heart Rune. Read a book with a heart on the cover or in the title. And for that one, I am finally going to be getting to Bring Me Their Hearts by Sarah Wolfe. This is a fantasy novel, and our main character, Zira, I think, she is a heartless. So she's under the control of a witch, and she has to, I think, steal the heart, literally take the heart out of a prince and bring it back to the witch, and then the witch will give her heart back and I think set her free, something like that. And I think that her and the prince fall in love. I've just heard really good things about this book for a while now. I know Allie from Allie with Books really loves it, and I just feel like this is going to be a really fun romantic fantasy, which is something I am kind of in the mood for right now. I just feel like it's gonna be light and make me feel good. So really excited for that one. For Arithmancy, it's magical qualities of the number 2, balance or opposites. Read something outside your favorite genre. And I picked a historical fiction book, which is one of my favorite genres, but it's not my favorite. Fantasy is my favorite, so I think this still counts. And that is The House Guest, A Pride and Prejudice Vagary by Elizabeth Adams. Elizabeth Adams has written several Pride and Prejudice retellings or reimaginings, and I've read one, which I really enjoyed. And I think what happens in this one is Lizzie and Georgiana Darcy make friends, they end up becoming friends, and Lizzie goes to stay with her at their London townhouse, and then Darcy shows up unexpectedly, so they're all in the same house together. I just feel like this is going to be really cute, and I actually have this on my list for the 2020 retelling bingo. I actually have a TBR video filmed for that, and I just haven't posted it because I keep having other more time sensitive things to post. So now it's the end of March, and I still haven't posted a year-long challenge video, but I've been making good progress on it. And this is for, I think, an Austen or Bronte retelling. That's what this is counting for, and I'm really excited to get to this. I feel like this is going to be another just really cozy book, and that's one of the vibes I'm really going for this month. Astronomy is night classes. Read majority of this book when it's dark outside. So it doesn't have to be the whole thing, but the majority of it. So I decided to pick a very short book, and that is Into the Land of the Unicorns by Bruce Colville. This is the first book in a series. I don't remember the name of the series, but Bruce Colville also wrote the Nina 1011 books, which I have been really enjoying. And this is another series I wanted to try, and I was reading about it on Goodreads a while ago when I first bought this book, and I was definitely interested in it, and then I saw that the main character's name is Kara, and it spells the way I spell it, C-A-R-A, so that was an extra inducement for me to read this book. And I feel like that's kind of fun, your birthday month, to read something where the main character shares a name with you, especially when you don't have a super common name. Anyway, I feel like this is a very rambly, chatty TBR video, so hopefully you guys are in the mood for that. But yeah, really looking forward to this, and this is very short. It's just over 150 pages, so I think reading most of this after a certain time at night, I don't think that'll be too difficult. The prompt for Care of Magical Creatures is Hippogriffs. Read a book that has a creature with a beak on the cover. And for that one, I think I'm going to do Sight Witch by Susan Dennard. This is, I think it's technically a prequel, but in the official reading order, you're supposed to read this after you read Wind Witch, which is book 2, and I have finally read Wind Witch and loved it. So I'm really excited to continue the series. I think it follows Ryber, who is a character that we meet in Truth Witch. And I've heard that this novella has something really important for you to know before you go into Blood Witch, which is why that's where it is in the reading order. I feel like the general consensus for this book is that it was just kind of middle of the road. I don't think people loved it. I'm just expecting this to be kind of a bridge book, and that's okay, honestly. Mostly I want to read this so I can finally get to Blood Witch. The Charms prompt is Lumos Maxima, and that is to read a book with a white cover. And for that one, I have Defy the Worlds by Claudia Gray. This is the second book in I think it's called the Constellation trilogy. The first book is Defy the Stars, which I really loved, and I actually reread that book last year around this time, intending to continue the series. and that didn't happen. But I'm not going to reread the first book again. I'm just going to jump right into this one because I feel like it's pretty fresh in my mind and I'm just really looking forward to it. This is a sci-fi series that is definitely more about the characters, and especially the two main characters, Abel and Nomemi, and I adore both of them, which I think is why the series works for me so well. Also, this is one of those books I talked about where, like, yeah, some of it or a lot of it is set in space, but that's not really the point, which is how I like my sci-fi because I don't really like space. So I'm really looking forward to that. The prompt for Defense Against the Dark Arts is Grindylows, read a book set at the sea or the coast. And for that one, I have a book that I actually intended to get to for Historathon, and that is Queen of the Sea by Dylan McConis, I think is the author. I still really want to get to that one and I just ran out of time for it, and I still have it checked out from my library. Our libraries have closed, which means that I have more time to finish the books checked out from them. So I will be getting around to this, and it's a pretty long graphic novel and I don't know too much about it, but it does take place on the coast and the art looks really lovely. For divination, the prompt is Third Eye. Assign numbers to your TBR and use a random number generator to pick your read. So I did this. I actually took a short clip of it, so if that came out okay, I will try to insert that into this video here. But I picked 5 books basically that I was really excited about and in the mood for, so I would be happy with any of them. And the one that ended up getting picked was Angel and Bavar by Amy Wilson. I read The Last Frost Girl in January and really loved it. It was kind of one of those experiences where just that book, I was like, I think Amy Wilson's going to be a new favorite author for me because I love the things she did in that book. I loved her writing and her characters, and I love like the kinds of stories she tends to tell. And this is a Beauty and the Beast retelling, which is something I love. I will never get tired of Beauty and the Beast retellings. I know a lot of people are, but not me. And I don't remember the exact like setup for this one, but all I need to know is it's an author I have loved and it's a Beauty and the Beast retelling, so I'm already pretty excited about it. Herbology is Mimulus Mimbletonia. Read a title that starts with the letter M, and I have Mansfield Park by Jane Austen. This is the book for our Austen Anonymous live show, our group book for April, and Mansfield Park is a very interesting one. I think the reason a lot of people don't like it, and the reason I didn't like it when I first read it, is because in some ways it feels very different from some of Austen's other books, and it's not really romantic, which is, you know, very different. Like, Jane Austen is obviously really good at writing romance, so I think the fact that this one is not overly romantic kind of throws people. I know it threw me when I first read it, but the more I read it, the more I appreciate it. Also, I love Henry Crawford, trash can though he is. I just find him such an interesting character, and I'm glad he exists in this book. So I think he is definitely one of the reasons why I enjoy this book more, is because, like, I just like him as a character. I find him super interesting. The prompt for History of Magic is Witch Hunts. Read a book featuring witches or wizards. And I actually thought this one was going to be really easy, and then I realized that even though I read a lot of books with magic, I don't necessarily read a lot of them where they use the word witches or wizards for the magic practitioners. But one that I do think does that is Castle in the Air by Diana Wynne Jones. This is the second book in the House Moving Castle trilogy, and I've only ever read the first book, but I've been meaning to continue. I have heard that this is the least enjoyable book of the 3, but I do want to read it, and I think this is a story inspired by 1001 Nights, and this actually is also on that 2020 retelling bingo list, because my rule for that, even though I didn't want to read any like should books this month, is I can read books that are on like challenge TBRs if I would still be in the mood to read them if they hadn't been assigned to me, if that makes sense. I really want to just like have fun with my reading this month. And the prompt for potions is, oh sorry, I skipped one. The prompt for Muggle studies is to read a book from the perspective of a Muggle, so basically a contemporary. And once again, I have a challenge book. There's one that I like really want to get to right now, and that is A Girl Like That by Tanaz Bathina. This is a pretty heavy contemporary, so depending on my mood, I'm not sure, like I might switch this out for something else. This is on my 2020 Reading Women challenge list, and this is about a girl named Zareen who, she lives in Saudi Arabia, and she's kind of known as like a bad girl. Like, parents don't want their kids to spend time with her because like she messes around with boys, like she gets in trouble, and one day her and her boyfriend turn up dead at the side of the road. And I think this book is kind of about what happened to them, like what led up to that event, but also just a wider perspective of culture and friendship and family and lots of very complicated issues. So I have heard really good things about this book, but again, depending on my mood, I might try a contemporary that's a little happier, because I have heard that that one is very emotional and very intense. And then the prompt for potions is Shrinking Solution, read a book under 150 pages. And for that one, I have The Tea Dragon Festival by Katie O'Neill. This is a sequel to The Tea Dragon Society, which I loved, and my lovely friend Katie from A Sea of Tomes, she actually gave this to me as a present for Christmas. It's just gonna make me feel like so warm and fuzzy and happy, and like this is exactly the kind of vibe I want from my reading in April. So I am so looking forward to this, and like the art is just lovely. Like I'm sure you guys have heard of the Tea Dragon Society, like everyone has been talking about it, but I think for good reason. And then the last prompt is Transfiguration, Animagus Lecture. Read a book or series that includes shapeshifting. And actually, the example that G gave was like Beauty and the Beast retellings. She said, for example, would count for those because like they always involve like transformation or shapeshifting. And I actually do have another Beauty and the Beast retelling, and that is A Curse So Dark and Lonely by Bridget Kemmerer. This is on both challenge lists that I've been talking about, the Reading Women one and the retelling one. I have heard just glowing things about this series. I have read 2 contemporary books by Bridget Kemmerer. One of them I was not as much a fan of, but one of them I really loved, and I just expect that I'm going to really like her fantasy books. And like I said, I love Beauty and the Beast retellings. I actually didn't realize until right before I was filming this video that I had like accidentally picked 2 Beauty and the Beast retellings for this month's TBR, but you know, that's okay because Beauty and the Beast retellings are kind of one of my like comfort food reads, so I think it's appropriate that I'm planning to read multiple Beauty and the Beast retellings in a month that I just want to be like cozy and fun and happy, aside from a couple of the books that are a little more intense than I mentioned. So these are all the books that I have planned to read in April for the owls, and they're also going to be like, I'm also going to probably read more books than this. Please let me know if you guys are participating in the Owls Readathon, and yeah, let me know if you guys are also kind of gravitating towards like comfort food type of books right now, because I know I definitely am, or at least including some of those mixed in with the other things I'm reading. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you soon with another video, and I hope you love the next book you read. Bye!